The first night was warm and calm. We slept well. Only in the morning, when the fire in the earth went out, hordes of mosquitoes started to annoy us. The stones, warmed by the afternoon sun, provide warmth until morning. It's not cold at night, and it's too hot to hide from the flying bloodsuckers in a sleeping bag. The fire lit at dawn once again filled up the perimeter of the house with smoke and did not let mosquitoes reach us. We peacefully slept through the morning hours. We finished the beds yesterday at dusk. For us, a width of 3 logs turned out to be too small, so we used 4. Just right. In the dark, we were unable to perfectly align logs horizontally. We could feel a slight tilt towards the legs. Using stones and logs as a support, even during the day, it took some time to level out. In order to not roll off them at night, the logs, though slightly differ in thickness, larger diameter along the edges and a little smaller in the centre. The house is built on a slight slope, so to make 2 areas on different height levels, from different size rocks, to make a flat area for the beds, is rather a test of patience. In order for the logs not to fall apart, we use sticks as supports for the edge logs. Healthy sleep when doing physical activities is very important, and nothing should interfere with it. A small armrest near the wall helps to sit more comfortably on the wooden bed. It also serves as a backrest and lets you accidentally sleep to lean on the sharp corners of the stone wall, which will poke the side and annoy worse than mosquitoes. Endless places. Boundary is only the distant horizon. For everyday life we use material that nature provides in its original form. For the construction of the fireplace we use stones. Rocks have their own properties. When heated, it does not shoot, does not even crack, but simply splits silently. At night, wide and thin for its size. The upper stove of the fireplace cracked due to the intense heat under its own weight. Right in the centre the stone glowed red all the way through. It was clearly visible in the dark, and we assume a large stone will be able to withstand the high temperature and will not collapse. If not, then we will have to reduce the width of the furnace, but then it will not be a fireplace but rather a stove. We won't waste time on it for now. We'll deal with more pressing matters today. It's impossible to spend the whole day in the mountains just resting. Everything is constantly changing here and very fast. A strong wind suddenly replaces calm. Warm weather changes to cool in only a few hours. Yesterday's stream, which ran near our house, ran dry. Various circumstances make you always move, and there are only 2 days, downhill and uphill. Under large boulders, water loudly splatters, and it seems that the source is very close, but this isn't true. It's a meter under the stones. It is impossible to move the boulders with your hands, too heavy. You have to go down the mountain to where the water comes to the surface. We found such a place, not close, but found it. A cold stream sputters under the tree's canopies. For some time it will become our source of drinking water. In order to fill the flask easily, we made a small dip. The water is very cold. Hands can't withstand it for a long time. Couple of minutes and you can start warming them up next to the fire. It's hot today. The forest smells of damp grass. The sky is clear. We have to carry and stack all the stones in the open sun. We drink especially a lot of water, and this source for us is like a salvation. Usually in the forest, in a spring, the water is clean and you can immediately drink it. It is filtered through layers of soil, sand and grass. But it's a whole other thing in the mountains. This is melted water. Remains of snow quickly melt in the sun and the stream rushes down. But in this area, there are only stones and mosses. The water is filtered much worse. To make such water potable, in addition to boiling, there is another simple way. Leave water under the sun for 2 to 3 hours in a transparent container. The UV light kills bacteria. Near the future home, widely spreading its thick branches grows a tall cedar. Under it, when resting, we flee from the heat of the sun. This cedar is well rooted and firmly stands unlike other plants. Due to lack of soil and moisture, many trees don't withstand local conditions. There is an abundance of dry windfall, which can be practically used. We remove the lower dry and already inanimate branches of a cedar, exposing a wide trunk. Under it, we are making a simple bench from dry logs. The thicker the logs, the wider the seat. The trunk of the large cedar will be used as the bench back. The ground is uneven. To raise one edge of the bench, under it we add logs with branches. The branches rest on the ground and hold up the structure. Here and there we additionally add stones. Despite the unpretentious appearance, the bench is firmly, conveniently and reliably attached. And most importantly, a minimum of time and effort was spent on it. This is a valuable resource here. Today we want to do a lot more things. These places become the cradle and abode for all forest inhabitants. They are not so friendly. To spend even a few days here takes a lot of effort. And once again we are reminded of this. The water in the stream turned out to be very bitter. One of the reasons is the presence of sulfates in it. Such water is not suitable for drinking. In some places you can find the remnants of snow and melt it into water. It will definitely be potable. We can continue already started work. To dig out the stone in the centre of the house, we started digging out yesterday. And it turned out that the visible tip is a small part of a huge boulder. The deeper we went into the ground, the more difficult it was to dig out. It is entwined with roots and held in place by other stones, which also had to be taken out of the ground in order to reach it. But all the labours are not in vain. We will lay the dug out stones on the wall. So we take the material for building the house directly from under our feet, while lowering the floor. Work efficiency has doubled, but the huge boulder in the centre is still motionless. No, having deepened considerably, it became clear that even digging out completely, we will not be able to move it due to the large mass. We have to somehow divide it into several parts. We settled on 2 options. Either make a big fire directly on the stone and heat it for a long time. When it becomes hot, pour cold water over it. Previously, we did not try to break large stones in this way. There is a doubt that the boulder of this size cannot be heated even to the middle. The heat from the fire rises, and most likely only the upper part, which will be in the coals, will heat up. In this case, the ash, coal and water will mix and become dirt. And if the stone does not crack, we will have to work in this dirt or wait until everything dries. Alternatively, we can use a chisel and a small hammer, which will be easy to bring here. There are shallow cracks on the stone, and using some we can surely chip off parts of the boulder, making it much lighter. But now it is necessary to lay already dug stones. A lot has accumulated. They are in the way. Some stones have almost straight edges on all sides, but it is difficult to find a place for them on the wall. The masonry doesn't turn out dense. Others, with many sharp corners and jagged edges, fit in perfectly. At first glance, this stone is not very suitable for masonry. One edge is chipped. We laid the chipped part down and pushed a little inside the house. It became a stone shelf. In a completed house, a kerosene lamp will look great on it. We put moss in the gaps, the best natural heat insulating material, which lies directly under your feet. Large stones are not easy to lay even together. In addition to placing them on the wall, the stone needs to be twisted and turned in search of a better place for it. Some immediately find their place on the wall. Others have to be shifted several times until they lie down perfectly. And the higher the wall becomes, the more difficult it will be. But at the same time, we see how we are slowly approaching our goal. Yeah, just drop it on the floor. Chronicles of the Stone House are just beginning. A lot of work and new discoveries are waiting for us. Gradually exploring these places, we understand how amazingly beautiful they are and are full of forest inhabitants, and the knowledge and experience gained here is priceless. On our Instagram we publish photos and videos that are not included in the videos. Be sure to check them out. You will find many interesting things. And so the Chronicles of the Stone House continue. With you with the Forest team. Until the next time, friends. Bye everyone.